students, welcome back to Study Smart channel. Today we are going to study part 2 of chapter 3 nutrition, which is human digestive system. Let's start. In my previous video, I have explained in detail what happens to the food we consume inside our mouth, esophagus and stomach. If you haven't watched the video, feel free to check it out. Today, we are going to continue the journey of food from the duodenum until the undigested food excreted through the anus. Are you ready, guys? Let's see what happens further to the food we consume. Okay, students, let's start with duodenum. Duodenum is the starting of small intestine. It will help to further digest the food particles, and the digestion of fat particles will start at duodenum. Let's listen to a story about duodenum before I further explain on how duodenum help in the food digestion. Alright, once upon a time, there were two brothers who are very shy in nature. Their name was Duodenum and Pancreas. They were too shy to make other friends, so they always stayed together by themselves. One fine day, they meet with the extroverted talkative guy called as Liver. Liver likes to talk a lot, but unfortunately, it has no one to listen to. When Liver meets with these shy brothers, it automatically attracted to them as they can listen him talking for hours. Since then, all three of them become best friends and always help each other. So, that's the story of how the brothers Duodenum and Pancreas made friends with the Liver. One fine day, Duodenum was asked by the king of the country to perform the task to further digest the food particles from the stomach. Even though outside Duodenum said yes, but inside Duodenum was so clueless as it does not have enough resources to perform the task. Immediately it turned to his friend Liver and his brother Pancreas to help him with the task. Without hesitation, both Liver and Pancreas agreed to help Duodenum to perform the task. Liver says it can secrete bile to help duodenum, but due to producing in big quantities, liver have to store the bile elsewhere before pass it to the duodenum. After some discussion, liver decided to keep the bile in a warehouse known as gallbladder, and duodenum will take it from there whenever it needs to further digest the food particles. Okay, students, so that's how liver decided to help the duodenum. But first of all, what is bile? Think of bile as your body's dishwasher detergent. It is a greenish yellow fluid produced by your liver and stored in your gallbladder until your body needs it for food digestion. So, when you eat fatty foods, the bile stored in your gallbladder will be released into your duodenum to help break down those fat particles into smaller pieces to make them easier for your body to absorb. Without bile, your body will struggle to digest the fat properly, leading to digestive issues. So in simple terms, bile help your body clean up and process the greasy stuff that you eat. The process in which bile break the large fat molecules into smaller particles is known as emulsification. Alright, we have seen how liver is helping duodenum to further digest the food. Now, let's find out how pancreas is going to help the duodenum. Okay students, think of your pancreas as a chef that prepares a special sauce called pancreatic juice. This juice is packed with secret ingredients that help your body to digest food. When you eat, your pancreas releases this juice into your small intestine. It's like adding that special sauce to your meal. But what's so special in this sauce? Let's get to know its secret recipe. The secret ingredients found in pancreatic juice are the enzymes. These enzymes in the pancreatic juice will help to break down the food into smaller molecules so your body can absorb them better. The enzymes are amylase, protease and lipase. Amylase will digest the carbohydrates, protease for protein and lipase is for fat digestion. Do you guys still remember that the digestion of carbohydrates start in the mouth? Yes, we have an enzyme in our mouth known as salivary amylase which will break the starch into maltose. So, any remaining starch that left undigested in the mouth will be digested inside our duodenum. So, the amylase in the duodenum will break the large molecules of starch into smaller molecules and results in maltose. As for the protease enzyme, it will break down the polypeptides from the stomach to form even smaller particles of protein known as dipeptides. Lastly, we have lipase enzyme from pancreatic juice. Do you guys still remember how bile from liver digests the larger fat molecules into smaller particles? Yes. Now, lipase enzyme will further digest the smaller fat particles to form even simplest form of fat molecules known as fatty acid and glycerol. These are the simplest form of fat molecules and are now ready to be absorbed by our body as nutrients to provide with energy. In summary, there are two organs that help in the digestion process happen in duodenum. These organs are liver and pancreas. Liver secrete the bile that helps to break the fat into tiny fat droplets, while pancreas secrete the pancreatic juice that contain amylase to break down the starch into maltose, protease to break down the polypeptide into dipeptide, and lastly, lipase enzyme to further break down the fat molecules into tiny droplets known as fatty acid and glycerol. Next, we move to small intestine. Small intestine have enzymes known as maltase and protease which helps to further digest the carbohydrates and protein molecules. Eventually, it forms glucose and amino acid which are the simplest form of carbohydrates and protein. Also, in the small intestine is where the absorption of nutrients will take place. Next to small intestine is large intestine. It is here at large intestine all the undigested food can be found. Large intestine is where the reabsorption of water will take place as well. Alright, I have a smart question for you guys. Why feces turn hard if a person didn't go to toilet for a few days? Think about this and I will let you know the answer at the end of the video. Alright, after large intestine, the undigested food will move to the rectum for temporary storage and eventually will excreted through the anus as a feces. Alright students, now let's look into how the nutrients or the digested food will be absorbed by our body. Do you still remember earlier I mentioned that the simplest form of food classes will be eventually absorbed by our body as nutrients? Yes, that's what we're going to have a look now. Those simplest form of food classes are glucose for carbohydrates, amino acid for protein, and fatty acid and glycerol for fat molecules. These particles will move from small intestine to our blood vessel and eventually travel to all body parts that require the nutrients to sustain the growth of cell and tissues. So, do you know how the structure of your small intestine looks like that make them to be most effective in food absorption? Imagine your small intestine as a shaggy carpet and on that carpet there are tiny finger-like structure called villi. These villi are like carpet fingers that help your body to soak up all the good stuff from your food. So, when you eat, these villi work together to make sure your body get all the vitamins, minerals and also other nutrients it needs to stay healthy and strong. Without them, it will be like trying to soak up a spill on the floor without a sponge. Not very effective. Alright students, do you guys know that villi can increase the surface area of small intestine to maximize the absorption of digested food? Yes, and this is what makes small intestine to be the most effective organ for food absorption process. Can you think about how is this possible? Think about this and we shall find out the answer very soon. Now is the answering time. Okay, our first smart question was why feces turn hard if a person didn't go to toilet for few days? If you find out the answer, let's discover the answer now. The answer for this question lies in the process of large intestine itself. We got studied that there will be reabsorption of water take place in the large intestine. What does it mean by that? It means that the water from your feces will be reabsorbed to your bloodstream in order to maintain body fluid balance. So, the longer you leave your feces inside your large intestine, the more it will lose water and eventually your feces will turn hard. This is known as constipation. So, if you don't want to suffer from constipation, make sure you remove those waste materials from your body on daily basis. Now, let's move into the next smart question. Will I increase the surface area of small intestine for the absorption of digested food? How? Let's find out the answer. We all know that villi are like finger-like projections that extend from the inner lining of the small intestine. This three-dimensional structure greatly increases the surface area available for absorption far better than what a flat surface could provide. Let's relate this with a simple analogy. Imagine you have two lines connecting point A to point B. One line is straight while the other line is full of curve. Despite both lines connecting the same points, the curved line covers a larger surface area. Similarly, the villi's finger-like projections enhance the small intestine capacity for absorbing nutrients, making it incredibly efficient compared to a flat surface. Alright students, we have came to the end of the video today. We have learned how the digestion takes place and the journey of the food from the mouth until it is being excreted through the anus. I hope you had fun learning the stuff today. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.